You're 7 years old, ankle deep in frozen mud outside your family's longhouse in Norway 859 AD, when the screaming starts. Smoke rises from the eastern farms. Your mother shoves you behind the woodpile and presses a hand over your mouth. Don't move. Through the gaps in the timber, you watch men pour into your village. Not foreigners, but Norsemen from a rival clan. Your father runs out with his axe. He drops two of them before the third steps forward. You see his face, a jagged scar running from his left eye to his jaw, twisting his mouth into a permanent sneer. He moves like a man who enjoys killing. Your father swings. The scarred man sidesteps, almost lazy, and opens your father's throat with a single stroke. Your brothers fall next. 1-2, like wheat before a scythe. Your mother's hand slips from your mouth as they drag her into the smoke. You hear her screaming your name, then nothing. The scarred man walks past your woodpile, close enough to touch. His boots leave bloody prints in the snow. He's laughing. You want to scream, but can't scream. You want to cry, but can't cry. You pick up your dead father's axe. It's too heavy, but you drag it anyway, for the sake of revenge. And that's how it starts. Your life as a Shieldmaiden. They call you Skjaldmær in the songs later. In the real world, most men will call you a lie until you crack their shield. 3 days later, your uncle Bjorn finds you eating raw fish by the fjord, half frozen, still holding your father's axe. It's too heavy for you. You've been dragging it everywhere. Bjorn is a raider, gone most years to places you can't pronounce. He has no wife, no children, no patience for softness. He looks at your hollow eyes and says, "You want to weep or you want to make them weep?" You don't answer with words. You lift the axe. "There's a man," you whisper, a scar on his face. "I'm going to kill him." Bjorn studies you for a long moment. Then he nods. "Then we have work to do." Training starts 2 days later. Your uncle doesn't coddle you. He trains you like he'd train a boy, except harder, because he knows what men will assume when they see a woman on a battlefield. Weakness, hesitation, easy prey. You wake before dawn to haul water, chop wood, run up mountain trails until your lungs burn and your legs buckle. First, the spear. Bjorn says is the weapon of the common warrior. Cheap and deadly. Your shoulders ache for months. Your palms blister, crack, blister again, until the calluses form thick as leather. By 9, you move to the axe. Not the elegant swords that Jarls carry. Those cost more silver than your whole village earned in a year. The axe is brutal, unforgiving. You practice on hanging logs until you can split them clean. Every log wears the scarred man's face. At 10, traders pass through with news from the eastern clans. You ask about a warrior with a scar, left eye to jaw. They know him. Halvard the Cruel, they call him. A Jarl's champion now, rich and untouchable. Not forever, you think. At 12, your body changes in ways that feel like betrayal. Your uncle's men start looking at you differently. One tries to corner you in the barn. You break his wrist with a shield-edged strike, exactly as Bjorn taught you. Your uncle finds out. He doesn't comfort you. He drags the man outside and makes an example. Then tells the crew you're coming on the next voyage. "You're ready," he says. "The sea will decide if I'm right." You don't care about the sea. You care about getting strong enough to kill the scarred man. The longship is nothing like you imagined. 30 warriors packed together with no shelter, bailing seawater while the North Sea tries to swallow you whole. You sleep wedged between rowing benches, waking to find ice crusted on your cloak. You row until your arms scream. You vomit over the side when the waves turn cruel. The men laugh. You wipe your mouth and grab your oar. What's a little suffering? You've been suffering since you were 7. Your target is a monastery on the English coast, fat with silver, guarded by a handful of frightened locals and old men in robes. The night before the raid, you can't sleep. Fear, anticipation, the knowledge that tomorrow you become what you need to be. Dawn. The ship scrapes onto the beach. You pour over the sides, shield up, axe ready. The first monk you see is praying, kneeling, hands clasped, lips moving. He looks up at you with eyes that expect death. You hesitate. He's not Halvard. He's not the scar. He's just a frightened man in brown robes. 1 heartbeat, 2. Then you remember your father's throat opening, your mother disappearing into smoke. You remember why you're here. Your axe falls. That night, loading silver onto the ship, a boy crawls out from behind the altar. 8, maybe 9, shaking. He reminds you of yourself, crouching behind that woodpile. The others haven't seen him. You could end him quietly. You should. Instead, you jerk your head toward the forest. Go. He runs. You tell yourself it doesn't matter. One monk child won't change anything. You're wrong, but you won't learn that for years. You raid every summer. Monasteries, villages, trading ships, but you're not chasing silver. You're chasing whispers, every port, every captive, every drunken warrior. Have you seen a man with a scar, left eye to jaw? They call him Halvard. At 16, you're close. A merchant says Halvard winters with Jarl Sigurd's clan, 3 fjords north. You beg Bjorn to raid them. Suicide, he says. Sigurd has 200 warriors. We have 30. You wait. You train harder. You earn a name. Ragnhild the Red. Not for your hair, which is dark as peat, for the blood that seems to follow you. At 17, you see a man across a battlefield with a scar on his face. Your heart stops. You cut through 3 enemies to reach him and find a stranger. Wrong scar, wrong man. The disappointment nearly breaks you. At 18, you fall in love. His name is Eirik, a skald, a poet warrior who fights as beautifully as he speaks. He sees something in you that others don't. Not just the killer, the girl still burning for revenge. You carry ghosts, he tells you one night. I see them in your eyes. Everyone carries ghosts. Yes, but yours are hungry. You've been feeding them so long. I wonder if you remember what else you could be. You don't answer. You don't know. He wants to marry you, build a farm, have children. You let yourself imagine it. A life where the scar doesn't own you, where you wake without the rage. But then word comes. Jarl Sigurd is feuding with your Jarl. A sanctioned raid. Halvard will be there. You volunteer before Bjorn finishes speaking. The battle is chaos. Shield walls crash together like waves against rock. Men scream and fall. Rain mixes with blood until the ground turns to red mud. Eirik fights beside you, his sword dancing, his voice rising in a battle song. For a moment, you let yourself believe you'll both survive this, that you'll kill Halvard and sail home and finally rest. Then you see him, the scar, left eye to jaw, older now, gray in his beard, but unmistakable. Halvard the Cruel, cutting through your warriors like they're children. The world narrows. 12 years of nightmares. 12 years of dragging your father's axe. Everything shrinks to one man. You scream his name. He turns, doesn't recognize you. Why would he? You were 7, a trembling thing behind a woodpile, beneath notice. Bjorndal, you roar, shoving through the press of bodies. The farm you burned, the family you slaughtered. Remember? Something flickers in his eyes. Confusion, amusement. I burned many farms, girl. You'll remember this one. You crash into him like a wave. He's bigger, stronger, more experienced. But you've been training for this moment your entire life. Every night you trace his face in the darkness. He cuts your shoulder. You don't feel it. You hook his shield with your axe and rip it away. He stumbles. My father was first. You spit, driving him backward. Then my brothers, 2 of them. One was 5 years old. He parries desperately. You're faster than you expected. Angrier. My mother, you took. I heard her screaming my name. Do you remember her screaming? His back hits a tree. Nowhere to run. I don't, he starts. I do. Your axe takes his hand. He screams. Your second blow takes his knee. He drops. And suddenly, he's looking up at you. Just like your father looked up at him all those years ago. Please, he gasps. You lean close. Let him see your eyes. Let him understand. She screamed for a long time. I'm going to make sure you scream longer. You do. When it's over, when Halvard the Cruel is nothing but meat and memory, you stand over his body, breathing hard, waiting for the satisfaction to flood in. It doesn't come. The rage that's driven you since childhood just stops. And underneath it, there's nothing. A hole where your heart should be. 12 years of revenge. And all it bought you was emptiness. Then you hear the scream. You turn. Eirik is on his knees 20 feet away, a spear through his stomach. He's looking at you. His mouth moves, but no sound comes out. You run, slip in the mud, crawl the last few feet to catch him as he falls. Eirik, stay with me. Blood bubbles on his lips. He tries to smile. His hand finds your face, your cheek, trembling. Your ghosts, he whispers. They're quiet now. Yes, you can't speak, can't breathe. Good. His eyes are fading. You can finally live. He dies in your arms. The battle rages around you. You don't move. You came here to kill the man who destroyed your family. You succeeded, and it cost you the only person who made you feel like you could be something other than a weapon. The gods have a sick sense of humor. You raid for 6 more years, but you're not fighting for silver, not for revenge. That's done. You fight because it's the only thing left, because Eirik was wrong. The ghosts aren't quiet. They just have new faces now. At 26, on a raid to Northumbria, your ship is ambushed in a river. Superior numbers, no escape. And there, among the English soldiers, you see a face you recognize. The monk child you spared 13 years ago, grown now, armored. He's the one who led them here. Mercy, as it turns out, has a long memory. Your crew forms a shield wall on the riverbank, knowing they'll die. You fight for hours. Your shield splinters. Your warriors fall one by one. Then, an arrow takes you in the side. You drop to your knees. The English close in. And in that moment, blade in hand, facing death, you finally understand. You tell yourself Valhalla isn't a reward. It's a release. An end to the hunger that's driven you since you were 7 years old. You rise. Your body is screaming, but you rise. And you lift your axe and you charge. The English hesitate. One heartbeat at the sight of a wounded woman running at them with death in her eyes. That hesitation costs them. You kill 4 more before the spear takes you through the chest. The world goes white, then red. Then, nothing at all. Mercy has a long memory, and so does a society that owns you. Click here to watch your life as a Korean Giseng. Same pain, different prison.